Hello everybody and welcome back to Surviving Mars. Currently we are working on making our base a finished feature. Once this dome is synced up, we can start planning further expansions, including expanding to out there. If we check our research tab, we're currently working on figuring out what these crystalline entities are, and overall I would say everything's going fairly well. So, to give you guys a sort of heads up on what's happening regarding Neon White, I'm currently working on the video itself whilst my chest is healed, so I'm sort of working on getting that done. However, I will say, with the increase in difficulty, one of the main problems I've run into is it's taking me a little bit longer to ace all of the levels and find all of the gifts. So, Neon White will probably be coming out sometime soon, but for now, we're going to continue working on Surviving with Mars, and we'll have some episodes of Neon White spattered in between. There will still always be 2 videos a week, but what those 2 videos are may vary from time to time. Let's speed this up here. More trades for stuff we don't have. Now, this dome is operational. Right, let's have a look around and see what everyone needs. So we have a playground there, and they are connected to... There's a diner there, living quarters, an amphitheater. Let's also check our production. We could begin making polymers. I would say first thing we're going to want to get hold of though is a small space bar. We're also going to want we're going to want a medical outpost. we're going to want... We're going to want something fairly cheap overall. Yeah, we'll build a polymers factory and we'll hook it up to our pipe system here. And then we should also be able to just hook it up cable-wise to here. And as we work away at the Martian front, we're doing quite well, actually. At least I think we are, and I hope we are. As I said, I am not the best at this game, so a lot of my lack of knowledge will shine through, where the more experts in the audience are probably seeing all kinds of things wrong with my current setup and are screaming at me like, "What are you doing?" You know? So, I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing amazingly. I feel like I'm doing okay. It's gonna say you've got a pair of polymers in you and a ton of metal. If I tell you to go continue gather resources. Bit when full, don't use passages for work. Despite having 4 vacant work slots, apparently someone is unemployed, which is a little weird. You're currently unemployed. Why is that? Our resources are indeed quite low, so at the very least for now, we're working our way through the problem. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Once this is done, we'll also have an idea of, you know, what we need to build in the way of housing. This requires engineers and requires 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Combined with another 7, 8. That makes 9, 10. So if I build homes and education, we do have the living complex. Hopefully at some point we can get the high-rise apartments, as they will save on space overall for a lot more storage, a lot more living capacity. So, hopefully we can work our way towards it. But research-wise, we need to stay focused on getting this stuff first, and then we can get the low G high-rise. As it stands, we're doing fairly well with our sort of water reserves.
Sector scan.
We'll scan the other 3 sectors here, and we'll send our explorer out to the anomaly, and then we'll bring it back into the main base. Thank you, Sterling Engines. Interesting thing about Sterling Engines is they provide us with the electricity we need at basically no maintenance cost whilst they're closed. Apparently this dome is without life support, which is a little surprising, but that is probably due to the lack of electricity. So should we start looking into solar powered equipment? Could be a good idea, especially with the newly large amount of metal we're gaining. Because these produce 5 power each. And then this will also help make up for our current power situation. I'm aware. If we look at our resupply tab, we look at a supply pod. We have something that can make machine parts, electronics. Probably going to want the small machine parts if we didn't already have one here. Which apparently is supposed to produce enough to keep up with our demand, but well, as it stands, we have people working when they need to work. We could bring in a few more passengers and other such things, but I want to leave it how it is right now. They're still working on getting the power systems here up and running. We'll say let's change up the appearance of these. I quite like these, sort of connecting to the main path. I will say that's something else I like about Surviving Mars is it has a very distinct style to it, and it's not something you get very often.
A colonist just snapped.
Leroy Presley, as every other colonist, went through psychological conditioning before arriving on Mars to guarantee their most basic ability to cope with the adverse environment. Indeed, the people live on a barren, dead, cold world with a toxic, almost non-existent atmosphere, protected only by a fragile-looking dome, relying on machines to keep them alive. The unparalleled everyday stress levels slowly drain the people of their resolve. Thus, even the slightest shock or frustration can send someone over the edge. On Earth, entertainment and recreation are just for fun, but here, they are a tool for basic survival. The colony Leroy Presley has reached critically low sanity. Which is a little worrying. we'll open up another one of these. Because we have, what? 14? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Sue, right here with you on the ether
7, 8,
waves.
9, 10, 11,
You
12.
are tuned in to Crystal Healing
13, 14.
Lifestyle Radio.
Yeah,
Bringing
we
you
have
the
we
latest
should
on
have enough
health,
living space
healing,
here
and happiness.
to sort of
Interesting
work for all
study
these
just
areas.
out. Seems that nearly 80% of Martians list the breathable atmosphere in the top 3 things they envy about
Colonists
life
have gone
on Earth.
mad.
I'm
Donning
right
a
here
spacesuit,
with
the
you on that one,
unstable
folks.
individual has
But for
occupied one of the
me,
drone hubs,
Number 1
threatening
is
to
the
destroy
yoga.
it.
I
Transmitting
can
video
never
from the
get
building.
into that darn downward dog. The gravity up here. I'm more like the floating goat. Oh, you folks know
We cannot
what I
afford to
mean.
lose the hub.
All right, let's hear another song.
And we lost Leroy.
We gather here today to bid a final farewell to one of our finest.
Well, I wouldn't say finest. The guy kind of snapped and held one of our drone hubs hostage whilst trying to perform an act of technological terrorism, I guess? So, no, I wouldn't say he was our best. Maybe we should also build a dome passage here. Might be a little redundant with these here, but it means that they won't have to go all the way around here. They'll be able to pass through here as well. Let's see. If I unload.
Sector scanned.
Sectors down here are continuing to be scanned. Right now we're working towards a brighter future.
Research complete.
We currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 jobs available in this dome. If I go into home and education, I'm gonna say, hold on a second, because this place has a grocer's, whilst this place has a diamonds.
The bizarre alien crystals appear to soak up all forms of waves directed at them. Our team suggests that if we feed enough energy to the entities, their physical properties will change dramatically.
We are unable to predict the effects of such an action, but Chief of Staffs suggest that this could be the only logical way of finding out what's going on. We could give it a try, but tread carefully. So, if I'm not mistaken, that's also this done. So apparently we can hook these guys up to the power grid now. Might require a little more energy than we can output, but yeah. I think for now we just keep working with what we've got and maybe build a security post here.
Resources are low.
We are still having machine part problems, but we're not really. The game's convinced we are, which is not true. very least, we will be solving our polymers problem that will rear its head eventually anyway. But at the very least, a lot of our systems are actually up and functioning. It's going quite well, actually. We still have residents coming in and out of the nursery. Luckily, thanks to the high enough comfort,
Resources are low.
I think babies are possible. See, part of me still doesn't fully understand how the network system with these sort of pipes work. I'd love to actually see your comments about it. If anybody themselves can figure out whether or not the this dome here, for example, is connected to both these domes, so I'd assume it would get both of their service buildings. However, this one is not connected to this one, so I assume this one cannot access this one. But I also might just be straight up wrong, so I don't really know. Because I can see these guys are moving between the domes. Three buildings that are not working.
Resources are
Security
low.
station and concrete extractors. As per usual, there is still a machine parts shortage. Sorry, I've got the hiccups, it would seem. As it stands, I'd say we're working pretty well. Everything's going fairly decently. One thing I definitely want to look into is the Martian education program. We currently have micromanufacturing on the works. We might need the drone hub building as well at some point. I was say, how many jobs do we have available? Let's fill this up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 engineers. So we're looking for amongst the youth and the adults. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, and everything else can go back. So we have 6 engineers on the Green Ark heading for Mars. And hopefully these guys will head for this to go work here. And begin producing polymers for us. one quick moment. Sorry about that, just needed to double check my equipment was still recording properly. Perhaps a few more sense towers would also be a good idea at some point. Guess it just depends on the situation and how it progresses from here. Oh, we have a split power grid somewhere. It seems one of our power grids here is completely damaged.
Sector scanned.
Now we need to scan some more sectors. I would say for now we'll uncover the rest of here. And then just out of the sheer sake of curiosity, we'll also begin trying to sync this up. We'll higher the priority on these. The concrete distractor was destroyed. It's a little odd. Well, at the very least, our passenger ship is ready to land. We'll watch as it comes down.
New colonists.
Let's off all those colonists who are immediately dashing head into here.
Sector scanned.
They're also then moving and are officially working here. I don't know where two of the others are. We hired and we brought 6 to the planet, so. Our colonists are doing quite well though, on the whole. We have Iris here. Don't know where exactly Iris is.
Sector
In
scanned.
the amphitheater. Life continues on normally for the dome. Phone's going off there.
The power flowed through the alien crystal, and it started humming with low vibration. The tiny dust that was forming around it dispersed, and a ray of light beamed from it towards the stars. Such a magnificent sight.
Our sensors went crazy as mathematical sequences started feeding us information about the surrounding area. Immediately, tiny specks of dust started shredding the outer layer of the crystal. Our analysis indicates that these are filled with various rare metals. The chief scientist is fascinated to say the least, suggests that we power up more crystals, but to do it carefully, as it appears that the entities are quite susceptible to energy fluctuations, which can threaten their integrity. On the other hand, the tactical command suggests that we must torch one of the crystals, crack it open and see what is inside. As usual, he suspects some kind of threat for the colony. So we can destroy these. Oh, I didn't even see this, but yeah. This crystal is officially powered. It's apparently producing rare metals. Who'd have thought? Well, we might as well build a rare metal depot here. Just in case. Knowing there's a few more crystals scattered around the place, we can definitely make use of these. I would say, for the sake of the story, we won't destroy any crystals, because I'm not quite sure what the destruction of the crystals will have as a sort of side effect, if you know what I mean. Will we have to be dealing with crystal-started ecological disasters? They already make dust devils and stuff like that, so I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't some other
Resources are low.
situation. At the very least, we are ready to send this green arc back home. Even the medical post here has started to actually get some people in it.
Sector
I think we're
scan.
going to need an absolute ton of these large solar panels. Another dust devil comes through, powered by the crystal, and the first thing it does is immediately start destroying everything it can, because of course it does. It's interesting how we also have quite a few in the way of seeds. The temperature increases. I wonder what else we can do regarding the whole terraforming situation. Specifically for building an atmosphere.
Glad you found time to tune into Lifestyle Radio. Sue Potts here. Our regular listeners
Resources
know
are
I'm
low.
a bit of a health nut. Life on the red planet is great.
We are still
and
looking
sure, I'll say it. It is a
negative on
blast how
power.
high we can jump. But sometimes it can leave you feeling a little floaty. We might be at a fraction of the Earth's gravity, but you can still get a workout, even without any special equipment, if you know what you're doing. Spoiler alert, Your secret weapon is your chair.
Actually, saying that, speaking of Mars and all that, I'd also love to see your comments on, let's say you were in this position. You were going to Mars under the pretenses of the Surviving Mars games. What position would you want to work? Because I'm not going to lie, if I was sent to a place like this, I would happily work in probably research. I probably would love to be a scientist working amongst the sort of colony. So yeah, post in the comments what your specialization would be and what you would love to work as on one of these sort of many colonies that are being set up. Because in the future, especially for the future of our real world humanity, going to places like Mars and stuff like that isn't exactly a foreign concept anymore, you know? It's something that can happen, and something that probably will happen quite soon, at least within the next 50, 60 years. Because, as we've seen with things like global warming and stuff like that, the planet is slowly but surely dying. So, our best current step is to go to space. Colonies like this and sort of space stations and stuff like that will become the new sort of frontier for mankind. So I wonder, in this sort of environment, in this situation, what would your plan be? What would you want to do with your life and yourself whilst you're living on a planet like this? You know? I've always found that sort of thing fascinating as a concept, because this is quite literally, in all senses of the word, an alien situation. And yet, you can't tell me that you wouldn't want to live in one of these colonies. Like, these colonies are gorgeous. They make my actual house look terrible. So, I don't know. Sorry about that. I had a very rough night last night. Didn't really sleep much. Seems our boy here is ready to offload all of the stuff he's just got. I'll go boost our metal numbers over here. At the very least, we're not at a deficit of concrete. Slightest. These new power systems are feeding us plenty of electricity for the night. So now we've got the polymers factory set up. As our people work away at the metal extractor and many of the other jobs around the colony, we need to figure out what we need to do next. And I think part of that will definitely be, these are increasing the temperature, so if I open the encyclopedia, let's read the encyclopedia for... Ooh. Well, I was going to say, let's read the encyclopedia for water, but it seems we've run out of time. So, I want to thank everybody for watching, and I hope that as the series continues, and as we continue on with Neon White, I can see more interaction from you guys. I'd love to see your comments and how you feel about all of our series, and maybe suggest games that you want to see on the channel as well. But yeah, so feel free to comment, and I'll happily get back to you. Have a good one. Bye.